The stars looked cold and distant as Admiral Kexthara stood on the bridge of his flagship. His long blue fingers moved across the control panel with practiced ease. Around him, his crew worked quietly at their stations. The bridge hummed with the soft sound of alien technology. Kexthara was proud of his fleet. 12 massive ships moved through space like sleeping giants. Each one stretched over 2 kilometers long. Their hulls shined with rainbow colors that shifted and moved like oil on water. These were the pride of the Zephyrian Empire. Behind the big ships, 40 smaller vessels followed in perfect formation. The cruisers were sleek and deadly. Their weapons glowed with blue energy, ready to fire at any moment. This was the strongest fleet the Empire had ever assembled. Commander Veltar approached the Admiral. His green eyes showed excitement. "Sir, we are close to the human world. Our sensors show weak defenses. This will be easy." Kexthara nodded slowly. He had conquered many worlds before. The humans would be no different. Intelligence reports said they were young and weak. They had barely learned to travel between stars. Their technology was primitive compared to Zephyrian power. "Show me their world," Kexthara ordered. The main screen flickered to life. A blue and green planet appeared before them. Small space stations orbited the world. Tiny ships moved between the stations like insects. The human colony called New Haven looked peaceful and defenseless. "How many ships do they have?" the Admiral asked. Veltar checked his readings. "Very few, sir. Maybe 20 small vessels. Nothing that can challenge us. They seem to be cargo ships and miners." Science Officer Zixandra looked up from her station. Her purple skin glowed softly in the bridge light. "Admiral, the humans are using strange technology. Their ships run on nuclear power instead of quantum cores. Very primitive." Kexthara smiled, showing sharp white teeth. Nuclear power was ancient technology. Most races stopped using it thousands of years ago when they discovered better energy sources. The humans were clearly backward. "What about their weapons?" he asked. "Hard to tell, sir," Zixandra replied. "Our sensors detect metal objects on their ships, possibly solid projectile weapons. Nothing like our plasma cannons." The bridge crew laughed softly. Solid projectiles were museum pieces. No civilized race used such crude weapons anymore. Plasma and energy beams were far superior. They could burn through any armor and destroy electronics with electromagnetic pulses. "Open a channel to all ships," Kexthara commanded. "Prepare for orbital bombardment. We will give the humans one chance to surrender. If they refuse, we destroy their military targets and take the planet." The communications officer began sending orders throughout the fleet. Weapon systems came online with low humming sounds. Energy collectors started gathering power for the plasma cannons. Shield generators created protective barriers around each ship. "Sir," Veltar said, "long-range sensors detect something strange." "What is it?" "There is one human ship positioned near the main shipping route. It is much larger than the others. Our computers cannot identify its class." Kexthara studied the sensor data. The ship was indeed bigger than the others. It looked different. Too, where most human vessels were round or curved, this one was all sharp angles and flat surfaces. It looked more like a flying building than a spaceship. "Is it moving to intercept us?" the Admiral asked. "No, sir. It is just sitting there, waiting." Kexthara found this puzzling. Why would one ship wait to face an entire fleet? Either the humans were incredibly brave or incredibly stupid. He suspected the latter. "Maybe it is their flagship," Zixandra suggested. "The human commander might want to negotiate." "Or maybe they are too scared to run," laughed Veltar. The Zephyrian fleet continued its approach. The distance between them and the human world grew smaller every minute. Soon, they would be in weapons range. The human ship still did not move. "Admiral," the communications officer called out, "we are receiving strange signals from the human." "Vessel, what kind of signals? They appear to be scanning us." "Very detailed scans. Their sensors are more advanced than we expected." Kexthara frowned. This was the first surprise. How could a primitive race have good sensors? He decided it did not matter. Even if they could see his fleet clearly, they could not stop it. "Sir," Veltar said with concern in his voice, "the scans are very thorough. They are examining our hull composition, weapon systems, and shield frequencies." "So what?" "Let them look. It will not help them." But privately, the Admiral felt a small worry. Most races they conquered never bothered with detailed scans. They either ran away or attacked immediately. The humans were doing neither. They were studying the Zephyrian fleet like scientists examining an interesting specimen. "Distance to target?" Kexthara asked. 1 hour until weapons range, sir." "And the human ship?" "Still waiting. It has not moved or tried to communicate." The Admiral decided to send a message. "Open a channel to the human vessel. Let me speak to their commander." The screen showed static for a moment, then cleared. A human face appeared. The creature had pale skin and short brown hair. Its blue eyes looked calm and confident. This was not what Kexthara expected from a doomed commander. "I am Admiral Kexthara of the Zephyrian Empire," he said in broken human language. "Your world belongs to us now. Surrender and we will be merciful." The human smiled slightly. "I am Captain Jake Morrison of the Earth Defense Force. This is human space. You need to leave now." Kexthara was shocked. The human spoke perfect Zephyrian language. How was this possible? Their intelligence said humans barely knew other races existed. "You are outnumbered," the Admiral said. "One ship cannot fight 52 vessels." "We will see," Captain Morrison replied calmly. The transmission ended. Kexthara stared at the blank screen. Something was wrong here. The human showed no fear. He acted like he had the advantage. This made no sense. "Orders, sir?" Veltar asked. The Admiral looked at his fleet on the tactical display. 52 powerful warships against one human vessel. The outcome was obvious. Yet somehow he felt less confident than before. "Continue the approach," he ordered. "Prepare all weapons. We will show these humans the price of defiance." The Zephyrian fleet moved forward into history. None of them knew they were about to witness something that would change everything they believed about warfare in space. Captain Jake Morrison stood on the bridge of the USS Vengeance and watched the alien fleet approach. His hands rested calmly on the command chair as dozens of enemy ships grew larger on the main screen. Around him, his crew worked with quiet efficiency. The Vengeance was humanity's newest warship. Every line of her design spoke of one thing: war. She was built to fight and win. Unlike the smooth curves of alien vessels, the Vengeance was all sharp angles and brutal efficiency. Her hull was dark gray metal that absorbed light instead of reflecting it. Lieutenant Amy Foster looked up from her communication station. Her red hair was pulled back in a tight ponytail. "Captain, the aliens are broadcasting surrender demands. They want us to give up the colony. What do you think of that, Amy?" Morrison asked with a slight smile. "I think they don't know who they're dealing with, sir." Morrison nodded. "My thoughts exactly." "Danny, how are our systems?" Chief Engineer Danny Rodriguez checked his displays. His thick fingers moved quickly over the controls. "All systems green, Captain. Reactors at full power. Weapons ready. Armor plating secure. She's ready for anything." The Vengeance was powered by 3 nuclear reactors. Each one could run the ship alone if needed. Humans believed in backups for their backups. If something could break, they built 2 more to replace it. Lisa, weapons status? Morrison asked. Weapons Officer Lisa Murphy grinned. Her dark eyes sparkled with excitement. All systems armed and ready, sir. Main railgun charged. Missile tubes loaded. Point defense systems online. We've got enough firepower to level a mountain. The main railgun ran nearly half the length of the ship. It could fire tungsten rods at incredible speeds. The impact force was like a small nuclear bomb. But it was just one of many weapons. The Vengeance carried. Commander Rick Palmer stood beside the captain's chair. His gray hair showed his years of experience. Sir, the alien fleet is slowing down. I think our ship is making them nervous. Morrison studied the tactical display. The alien ships were indeed reducing speed. Their perfect formation was becoming loose and uncertain. They've never seen anything like us before, Rick. Their sensors are probably going crazy, trying to figure out what we are. The Vengeance carried over 2,000 missiles. Each one could think for itself and choose its own target. The aliens used energy weapons that fired in straight lines. Human missiles could dodge, weave, and attack from any direction. Captain, Amy Foster called. Out. I'm detecting increased chatter on alien frequencies. They seemed confused about our weapon systems. Dr. Patricia Wong looked up from her science station. Her calm voice carried a hint of amusement. Sir, based on their communications, they're having trouble understanding our technology. They keep referring to our weapons as metal throwers and physics weapons. Morrison almost laughed. The aliens were so used to energy weapons that they couldn't comprehend kinetic force. Humans had learned long ago that sometimes the simplest solution was the best. A chunk of metal moving fast enough could destroy anything. Sir, Palmer said, the alien flagship is trying to contact us again. Put them through. The screen showed the blue-skinned alien admiral. His large eyes showed confusion and growing worry. When he spoke, his human language was broken and unclear. Human ship, the alien said slowly. You are one vessel. We are many. Surrender now and avoid destruction. Morrison replied in perfect Zephyrian language. He had studied their tongue for months, preparing for this moment. Admiral Kexthara, this is Captain Morrison. You are in human space without permission. Leave now or face the consequences. The alien's expression showed shock. He had not expected the human to know his name or speak his language. Morrison could see fear beginning to replace confidence in those large eyes. How do you know our language? The alien asked. We've been watching you for a long time, Morrison replied. We know about your empire, your technology, and your weaknesses. This was true. Earth's intelligence services had been studying the Zephyrians for years. Human spies and robot probes had gathered detailed information about alien military capabilities. The aliens knew almost nothing about humanity. The transmission ended abruptly. Morrison turned to his crew. They're scared. Good. A frightened enemy makes mistakes. Captain, Danny Rodriguez said, their weapons are charging. Energy readings are increasing across their fleet. Let them charge, Morrison said calmly. Lisa, prepare for a demonstration. Target that large asteroid on our starboard side. Aye, sir. Main railgun targeted and ready. The asteroid was roughly the size of a city block. It had been drifting in space for millions of years. In a few seconds, it would become humanity's calling card. Fire when ready, Morrison ordered. The Vengeance shuddered slightly as the railgun discharged. A tungsten rod the size of a telephone pole left the ship at tremendous speed. The projectile was invisible to the naked eye, moving too fast to see. The impact was not invisible. The asteroid simply vanished in a flash of white light. For a brief moment, a tiny star appeared where the rock had been. Then nothing remained. but glowing gas and debris. Holy ... Amy Foster whispered, then caught herself. Sorry, sir. That never gets old. The alien fleet's reaction was immediate. Their tight formations scattered as ships moved away from each other. Energy readings showed their weapons powering down. Communications traffic increased dramatically. They're panicking, Dr. Wong reported. I'm detecting what can only be described as terrified screaming on multiple frequencies. Morrison nodded with satisfaction. The aliens had never seen pure kinetic force used as a weapon. Their energy shields were designed to deflect plasma and lasers. They would be useless against solid projectiles moving at railgun speeds. Sir, Palmer said, long-range sensors are detecting the rest of our fleet approaching from the outer system. Right on schedule. How many ships? 12 battleships, 6 carriers, and 20 destroyers. The USS Defiant is leading them. Morrison smiled. The Defiant was even bigger than the Vengeance. Her weapons could punch holes through planets. The aliens were about to get a lesson in human military doctrine. Overwhelming firepower applied, with surgical precision. Captain, Lisa Murphy said, shall I deploy our missile screen? Do it. Let's show them what a real weapons system looks like. The Vengeance opened her missile bays. Hundreds of smart missiles emerged like a swarm of metal insects. They took position around the alien fleet, moving in complex patterns that no pilot could follow. Each missile carried multiple warheads. Some had kinetic penetrators. Others had nuclear explosives. A few carried electromagnetic pulse generators designed to fry alien electronics. All of them could change course instantly and attack from unexpected angles. Sir, Amy Foster reported, the aliens are trying to lock onto our missiles with their targeting systems. They're having no success. Our countermeasures are working perfectly. The alien ships began to lose formation as individual commanders started questioning their orders. Some ships were backing away. Others were trying to get weapon locks on the human vessel. None of them seemed to know what to do. Captain, Dr. Wong said, I'm reading massive stress indicators in their communications. Their morale is collapsing. Morrison studied the tactical display. The alien fleet was still dangerous, but they were no longer acting like conquerors. They were acting like prey animals facing a predator they didn't understand. Amy, open a channel to the entire alien fleet. It's time for another conversation. Channel open, sir. Morrison's voice carried clearly across space to every alien ship. When he spoke in their language, his words were calm and confident. Zephyrian Fleet, this is Captain Morrison. You have seen a small demonstration of human weapons. Our reinforcements will arrive in 30 minutes. I suggest you consider your options carefully. He closed the channel and turned to his crew. Gentlemen and ladies, I think we're about to make history. The galaxy is about to learn that humanity is not as helpless as they thought. The Vengeance continued to hold position, her weapons ready and her crew confident. Behind her, the human colony was safe. Ahead of her, an alien fleet struggled to understand how their easy conquest had become a nightmare. The battle for humanity's place in the galaxy was about to begin. Admiral Kexthara stared at the place where the asteroid had been. His blue hands shook slightly as he gripped the edge of his command console. Around him, his bridge crew worked frantically at their stations, trying to understand what they had just witnessed. Science Officer Zixandra, he called out, his voice tight with stress. Explain to me what just happened. Zixandra's purple skin had turned pale. Her fingers danced over her controls as she analyzed the sensor data. Admiral, the human ship fired a solid projectile at tremendous velocity. The impact energy was equivalent to a small nuclear explosion. Impossible, Commander Veltar said. Kinetic weapons cannot generate that much force. The math does not. Lie, Zixandra replied. The projectile was moving at nearly 3% of light speed. At that velocity, even a small mass becomes devastating. Kexthara felt his confidence cracking. His empire had conquered dozens of worlds using energy weapons and plasma cannons. Those weapons were elegant and efficient. They could burn through armor and disrupt electronics. But this human weapon was something else entirely. How do they accelerate projectiles to such speeds? He asked. Unknown, sir. Our sensors detect massive magnetic field generators running the length of their ship. They appear to be using electromagnetic acceleration on a scale we have never seen before. The Admiral looked at the tactical display. The human ship still sat motionless, waiting. It looked like a dark predator ready to strike. Its angular design was ugly compared to Zephyrian curves, but suddenly that ugliness seemed terrifying. Sir, the communications officer called out, we are receiving another transmission from the human captain. Put it through. Captain Morrison's face appeared on the screen again. His expression was calm and patient, like a teacher speaking to slow students. When he spoke, his Zephyrian was perfect and clear. Admiral Kexthara, I hope that demonstration was educational. We humans believe in showing rather than telling. Your plasma weapons are impressive against energy shields. Unfortunately for you, we do not use energy shields. Kexthara found his voice. What do you use for protection? Morrison smiled slightly. Armor. Lots of armor. Layers of titanium, steel, and composite materials. Your energy weapons will scratch our paint. Our kinetic weapons will punch holes through your ships. The human captain gestured to something off-screen. We also have other toys to show you. Would you like to see our missile systems? Before Kexthara could respond, the human ship began launching small objects. At first, they looked like tiny shuttles or fighters. But the sensor readings made no sense. These objects were moving too, fast and too precisely to be piloted craft. Missiles, Zixandra whispered. Hundreds of them. The missiles spread out around the Zephyrian fleet like a cloud of metal insects. They moved in patterns that hurt to watch, changing direction instantly and accelerating in ways that should have torn them apart. Sir, Veltar said with panic. In his voice, our targeting computers cannot lock onto them. They are too fast and too maneuverable. Use our point defense systems, Kexthara ordered. We are trying, sir. But the missiles are not attacking. They are just surrounding us. The Admiral stared at the tactical display in growing horror. His fleet was trapped inside a sphere of human weapons. Each missile was a potential death sentence, and there were too many to count. Admiral, Morrison's voice came through the speakers, those missiles are smart. Each one can think for itself and choose its own target. They can dodge your weapons and attack from any angle. Right now, they are just watching you. But I can change that with a single command. Kexthara's throat felt dry. What do you want? I want you to understand something important. Earth has been preparing for this moment for a long time. We knew that sooner or later we would meet hostile aliens. So we built ships designed for one purpose, to destroy alien fleets. The human captain leaned forward slightly. Your empire conquers worlds by overwhelming them with superior technology. That works well against races that think like you. But humans think differently. We do not try to make elegant weapons. We make weapons that work. Sir, Zixandra called out urgently. Long-range sensors are detecting more human ships approaching. They are much larger than this one. Kexthara felt his stomach drop. If this single human ship could destroy his fleet, what could a group of larger ships do? Morrison nodded as if he had heard the sensor report. Ah, my reinforcements are arriving. Early. Admiral, I would like you to meet the USS Defiant and her battle group. They have been looking forward to this meeting. The main screen switched to show space in the distance. Dark shapes were moving against the stars, growing larger every second. The lead ship was enormous, easily twice the size of the largest Zephyrian dreadnought. "The Defiant carries our newest weapons," Morrison continued conversationally. "Mass drivers that can launch projectiles at significant fractions of light speed. Her main guns can crack moons in half. Would you like a demonstration?" "No," Kexthara said quickly. "That will not be necessary. Good choice. Now let me explain your situation. You came here expecting to conquer a primitive human colony. Instead, you have encountered the Earth Defense Force. We have been watching your empire for years. We know your technology, your tactics, and your weaknesses." Morrison paused to let that sink in. "Your plasma weapons require direct line of sight to be effective. Our missiles can attack from any direction. Your energy shields protect against energy weapons. Our kinetic weapons ignore energy shields completely. Your ships are fast and maneuverable. Our weapons are faster." Dr. Patricia Wong appeared beside Morrison on the screen. Her voice was calm and scientific. "Admiral, we have studied your military doctrine extensively. You rely on shock and awe to break enemy morale. Your enemies usually surrender after seeing your superior firepower. This strategy will not work against humans." "Why not?" Kexthara asked, though he feared the answer. "Because humans have been fighting each other for thousands of years," Wong replied. "We know every trick of warfare. We have faced overwhelming odds before and won. Your psychological tactics are crude compared to what we do to each other." Morrison took control of the conversation again. "Admiral, I am going to give you some free intelligence about humanity. We are not a peaceful species. We love to fight. We are very good at it. When we finally reached the stars, the first thing we did was build warships." The human captain gestured to his bridge crew. "Every person on this ship volunteered for military service. They trained for years to fight aliens like you. They are excited to test their skills against a real enemy." "Sir," Veltar whispered urgently, "the human reinforcements are taking battle positions. We are surrounded." Kexthara looked at the tactical display. Human ships were moving into a perfect formation around his fleet. Each ship bristled with weapon systems he did not recognize. The missiles continued to circle his vessels like metal. "Vultures." "Admiral," Morrison said, "I am going to make you an offer. You can withdraw your fleet now and return to your empire. Tell them what you learned here. Warn them that humans are not easy prey. And if we refuse?" Kexthara asked. Morrison's expression hardened. "Then my weapons officers will get there. Target practice. Your ships will become debris. Your crews will become casualties. And your empire will eventually face the full might of the Earth Defense Force." The bridge fell silent, except for the hum of alien technology. Every Zephyrian on the ship was staring at their admiral, waiting for his decision. "You are giving us a choice?" Kexthara asked. "Humans believe in giving people choices," Morrison replied. "We also believe in consequences. Choose wisely, Admiral. This is the only offer you will receive." Kexthara looked around his bridge at the faces of his crew. He saw fear, confusion, and desperate hope. They had come here as conquerors. Now they were trapped prey, hoping for mercy from predators they had never imagined. The Admiral made his choice. The Zephyrian fleet hung in space like wounded animals. Admiral Kexthara could feel the fear radiating from every ship in his command. His bridge crew worked frantically at their stations, trying to find some advantage, some weakness in the human formation. Commander Veltar approached the Admiral's chair with a datapad in his hands. His green eyes showed barely controlled panic. "Sir, our tactical computers have analyzed the human weapons. The results are disturbing." "Show me." Kexthara ordered. The main display changed to show a detailed breakdown of human military technology. The numbers made the Admiral's blood run cold. Each human missile carried enough kinetic energy to cripple a Zephyrian cruiser. The railgun projectiles could punch clean through their strongest armor. Worst of all, the humans had hundreds of these weapons ready to fire. "Sir," Science Officer Zixandra called out, "I am detecting more missile launches from the human ships. They are deploying additional weapons around our fleet." Through the bridge windows, Kexthara could see small points of light moving against the stars. Each light was a human missile, and there were thousands of them now. They formed a perfect sphere around his fleet, ready to attack from every direction at once. "How many?" he asked quietly. "Over 3,000 missiles now in position, sir, and more launching every minute." The Admiral closed his eyes for a moment. 3,000 missiles against 52 ships. Even if his point defense systems worked perfectly, they would be overwhelmed in seconds. On the USS Vengeance, Captain Morrison watched the alien fleet's growing panic with professional interest. His weapons officer, Lisa Murphy, reported the deployment status with obvious satisfaction. "All missile pods deployed, Captain. We have complete coverage of the alien formation. Point defense systems are tracking over 4,000 targets. The aliens cannot escape without running into our weapons." "Excellent work, Lessa. Danny, how are our power levels?" Chief Engineer Danny Rodriguez grinned at his displays. "All reactors running at 90% efficiency, sir. We could keep this up for days. The aliens are probably wondering how we generate so much power." Morrison nodded. Human nuclear reactors were crude compared to alien quantum cores, but they were also incredibly reliable. They could run for years without maintenance. More importantly, they were very hard to disable with energy weapons. "Sir," Communications Officer Amy Foster said, "I'm monitoring alien transmissions. Their individual ship commanders are requesting permission to break formation. They want to run," Commander Rick Palmer observed. "Can't say I blame them." Dr. Patricia Wong looked up from her analysis station. "Captain, the aliens are experiencing severe psychological stress. Their military doctrine has no provisions for this type of engagement. They are trained to fight enemies who use similar technology. And we don't," Morrison said with satisfaction. The human approach to space warfare was uniquely brutal. Where aliens used elegant energy weapons and defensive shields, humans relied on overwhelming kinetic force and heavy armor. It was the difference between a fencing match and a sledgehammer fight. "Sir," Lisa Murphy said, "the USS Defiant is requesting permission to demonstrate her main weapons." Morrison considered this. The Defiant's mass drivers were the most powerful weapons in human space. A single shot could destroy a small moon. Perhaps it was time to show the aliens just how outclassed they really were. Granted. Have them target that dead planet in the outer system. The dead planet was a barren rock the size of Earth's moon. It had no atmosphere and no value to anyone. In a few moments, it would become a very expensive demonstration of human firepower. On the Zephyrian flagship, sensor readings suddenly spiked as massive energy built up in the largest human ship. Zixandra's voice cracked with strain as she read the data. "Admiral, the large human vessel is charging some kind of super weapon. Energy levels are beyond our measurement scale." "Target?" Kexthara asked. "The fourth planet in this system, sir." "But why would they want to destroy a dead world?" The Admiral understood immediately. The humans were about to show them what their biggest guns could do. It was a message written in the language of pure destruction. The USS Defiant's main mass driver charged for 30 seconds. The weapon drew power from all 3 of the ship's fusion reactors. When it fired, the projectile left the barrel at 15% of light speed. The impact was visible across the entire solar system. The dead planet simply ceased to exist. One moment it was there, a gray ball of rock and ice. The next moment, there was only an expanding cloud of superheated gas. And debris.the shockwave reached the Zephyrian fleet minutes later. Their ships rocked gently as the wave of energy and particles washed over them. Several bridge officers fell to their knees. Others began praying to their gods. By the void, Veltar whispered. They destroyed an entire planet with a single shot. Admiral. Kexthara stared at the place where the planet had been. His empire's most powerful weapons could crack continents. The humans had just erased a world from existence. Sir, the communications officer said with a shaking voice, the human captain is contacting us again. Morrison's face appeared on the screen. He looked completely calm, as if destroying planets was routine business for him. Admiral, I hope that demonstration was informative. The Defiance mass drivers are our ship-killer weapons. Against planetary targets, they are somewhat excessive. Against your fleet, they would be quite effective. Kexthara found his voice. How many of those weapons do you have? The Defiant carries 12 mass drivers. Each of my battleships has 6. Do the math yourself. The Admiral did not want to do that math. 78 planet-killing weapons, pointed at his fleet. Even one shot would destroy multiple ships. Captain Morrison, Kexthara said carefully, your weapons are impressive. But surely you cannot use such massive firepower in a battle. The energy requirements must be enormous. Morrison smiled. Admiral, human ships carry fusion reactors that can power a small city. We built them specifically to handle our weapons. Your quantum cores are more efficient, but our reactors are much more powerful. Dr. Wong appeared on the screen again. Admiral, your empire uses elegant technology designed for efficiency and beauty. Humans use brute force technology designed for war. We do not care if our weapons are pretty. We only care if they work. Sir, Zixandra called out urgently. Sensors detect more human ships approaching. These appear to be different classes. The new arrivals were smaller than the battleships, but moved much faster. They took positions around the human formation with military precision. Each ship carried missile launchers and railgun systems. Those are our destroyers and cruisers, Morrison explained. Fast attack ships designed to hunt down fleeing enemies. They carry enough firepower to level cities. Commander Palmer appeared beside Morrison on the screen. Admiral, we have you completely surrounded. Our missile screen can attack from any direction. Our battleships can destroy your largest vessels. Our fast attack ships can hunt down any survivors. What about our shields? Veltar asked desperately. Your energy shields are useless against kinetic weapons, Palmer replied. Our projectiles will pass right through them. Your armor is designed to resist plasma weapons. It will not stop tungsten. Our OD's moving at relativistic speeds. Morrison leaned forward. Admiral, let me explain something about human military thinking. We study our enemies very carefully. We learned everything about your technology before we ever met you. We designed our weapons specifically to counter your advantages. How? Kexthara asked. Spies, robot probes, signal intercepts. We have been watching your empire for years. We know your weapon systems, your armor specifications, and your tactical doctrines. You know almost nothing about us, ... Dr. Wong nodded. Your intelligence services reported that humans use primitive nuclear technology and simple metal weapons. That information is technically correct, but completely misleading. We use those technologies because they are effective against your defenses. Morrison stood up on his bridge. Admiral, you came here expecting to conquer a helpless human colony. Instead, you found a carefully prepared trap. My ships have been waiting for you. This entire engagement was planned months ago. The truth hit Kexthara like a physical blow. The humans had known about the invasion before his fleet even left. Zephyrian space. They had prepared a reception committee designed to destroy everything he valued. "Sir," Veltar said quietly, "what are your orders?" The admiral looked around his bridge at the faces of his crew. They were good soldiers who had followed him across the galaxy. They trusted him to bring them home safely. Now their lives depended on his next decision. "Captain Morrison," Kexthara said slowly, "what exactly do you want from us?" Captain Morrison studied Admiral Kexthara's face on the screen. The alien commander looked like a broken leader whose confidence had been shattered by reality. Around the Zephyrian bridge, crew members whispered among themselves with obvious fear. "What I want is simple, Admiral," Morrison said calmly. "I want you to understand that humanity is not a victim species. We are predators. We have been fighting wars since before we discovered fire. When we reached the stars, we brought that experience with us." Dr. Patricia Wong stepped forward on the human bridge. "Admiral Kexthara, your empire has conquered dozens of species using the same tactics. You arrive with overwhelming force, demonstrate superior technology, and demand surrender. This strategy works against peaceful races who have never experienced real warfare. But humans are not peaceful," Morrison continued. "We have fought thousands of wars against our own species. We know every trick of combat, every strategy of conquest, every weakness of military thinking. Your tactics are textbook examples that we studied in military academy." Admiral Kexthara felt something die inside his chest. His empire's greatest strength had become its greatest weakness. They had become so used to easy victories that they had forgotten how to fight a real enemy. "Sir," Commander Veltar whispered, "our ship commanders are requesting orders. Some vessels are already powering up their engines for retreat." Kexthara could not blame them. His proud fleet was trapped inside a sphere of human weapons, like fish in a net. Every second they stayed increased the chance of complete destruction. "Captain Morrison," the admiral said carefully, "what are your terms?" Morrison exchanged glances with his officers. They had discussed this moment many times during their preparations. The human response would set the tone for all future contact between Earth and the galaxy. "My terms are these," Morrison said. "You will withdraw your fleet immediately. You will return to your empire and deliver a message. Tell them that Earth is under the protection of the Human Defense Force. Any attack on human colonies will be met with overwhelming retaliation." "That is all?" Kexthara asked, surprised. "No, there is more. You will also tell them that humanity is interested in peaceful trade and diplomatic contact. We are not conquerors like your empire. We prefer to make friends rather than slaves. But we will defend ourselves with lethal force if necessary." Commander Palmer stepped forward. "Admiral, we want you to spread the word about human military capabilities. Tell every species you meet that attacking humanity is a fatal mistake. This will save lives on both sides." Dr. Wong nodded. "We have no desire to destroy your fleet, Admiral. Dead aliens cannot carry messages. Living aliens can warn others about human strength." Kexthara felt a glimmer of hope. The humans were offering survival in exchange for serving as messengers. It was not glorious, but it was better than extinction. "Sir," Communications Officer Amy Foster reported, "I'm detecting panic communications throughout the alien fleet. Several ships are already beginning to move away from formation." Morrison noticed this too. "Admiral, your subordinates are making the smart choice. I suggest you follow their example before I change my mind about letting you leave. You would release us?" Kexthara asked. "I would prefer it. Dead aliens serve no purpose except as examples. Live aliens can carry warnings that prevent future conflicts. Which would you rather be?" The choice was obvious. Kexthara had lost everything except his life, and the lives of his crews. He could. At least save those. Very well, the Admiral said. We will withdraw. But my government will want proof of your claims about human military strength. Morrison smiled grimly. I thought they might. Amy, transmit the complete sensor records of this engagement to the alien flagship. Include detailed analysis of our weapons, ship capabilities, and tactical doctrine. Sir, Lisa Murphy asked, is that wise? We are giving them intelligence about our military. We are giving them intelligence that will prevent wars, Morrison replied. When their leaders see what we can do, they will think twice about attacking human colonies. Fear is sometimes the best peacekeeper. The data transmission took several minutes. When it was complete, Kekstara had a complete record of humanity's military demonstration. His scientists would analyze every detail and reach the same conclusion. Humans were far more dangerous than anyone suspected. Admiral, Morrison continued, I am also sending you something else. Complete specifications for human trade goods, technology we are willing to share, and diplomatic contact procedures. When your empire is ready to talk instead of fight, we will be waiting. This surprised Kekstara. After demonstrating overwhelming military force, the humans were offering friendship. It was a contradiction that he did not understand. Why? He asked. Dr. Wong answered. Because humans learn from history, Admiral. Empires built on conquest always fall eventually. Civilizations built on trade and cooperation last much longer. We prefer the second option. Sir, Chief Engineer. Danny Rodriguez called out. Alien ships are powering up their engines. Looks like they are preparing for departure. Morrison nodded. Admiral, you have 1 hour to clear human space. After that, my orders are to consider any alien vessel a hostile target. I suggest you do not test our patience. Kekstara bowed his head slightly. It was a gesture of respect between military commanders, even enemies. Captain Morrison, you have taught us a valuable lesson today. I will make sure my empire learns from it. I hope so, Admiral. For all our sakes. The transmission ended. On the Zephyrian flagship, Admiral Kekstara turned to his crew. They were waiting for orders that would either save their lives or doom them all. Attention all ships, he broadcast to his fleet. We are withdrawing immediately. Set course for home. Maximum speed. The relief on his bridge was visible. Officers who had been holding their breath finally relaxed. Navigator Helm Tar began plotting the fastest route back to Zephyrian space. Sir, Science Officer Zixandra said quietly, what will you tell the High Command? The truth, Kekstara replied. That we have encountered a species that makes our empire look like children playing with toys. That humanity has weapons and tactics we cannot counter. That attacking them would be suicide. One by one, the Zephyrian ships began moving away from the human formation. The elegant alien vessels that had arrived with such confidence now fled like frightened animals. Their rainbow hulls no longer seemed beautiful. They seemed fragile. On the USS Vengeance, Captain, Morrison watched the alien retreat with satisfaction. Around him, his crew maintained professional composure, but he could sense their excitement. They had just won humanity's first interstellar military engagement without firing a shot in anger. Sir, Commander Palmer said, the alien fleet is clear of our weapons range. They are maintaining maximum velocity toward their home territory. Good. Amy, send a message to Earth Command. Tell them that first contact has been established. The galaxy now knows that humanity is not to be underestimated. Message sent, sir. Morrison looked out at the stars through the bridge windows. Somewhere, out there, dozens of alien civilizations were about to receive a wake-up call. The galaxy had a new player, and that player had claws. Lisa, secure all weapons. Stand down to normal alert status. Aye, sir. All weapons secured. Dr. Wong approached the captain's chair. Sir, what do you think will happen next? Morrison considered the question carefully. I think the galaxy is about to become a much more interesting place, Patricia. Some species will want to fight us. Others will want to trade with us. Most will want to avoid us entirely. And that is what we want? That is exactly what we want. Respect through strength. Peace through superior firepower. It is an old human strategy. And it works. The USS Vengeance resumed her patrol around New Haven Colony. Behind her, the human settlers continued their daily lives, protected by the knowledge that Earth's military stood ready to defend them not far away. Admiral Kexthara's fleet carried news that would shake the foundations of galactic civilization. Humanity had announced its presence with authority. The age of easy conquest was overdot in the depths of space. Other alien empires monitored the transmissions from the Zephyrian fleet. The messages spoke of metal storm ships and physics weapons that could destroy planets. Most importantly, they spoke of a species that fought like demons and negotiated like angels. The galaxy would never be the same. Captain Morrison smiled as he watched the stars. Somewhere out there, alien commanders were reading reports about human military capabilities. They were learning that Earth's children were not helpless prey. They were learning that humanity had come to stay.